Hello and welcome to the FullStackDev tutorial series. In this video, we'll be discussing project structure organization and configuration. All of our project files and folders will be contained within a single parent directory. Everything we need to develop, test, and deploy our application will be contained here within. This will include all directories and files for the front end, the back end, and everything we need to configure and run our MySQL database and Redis database. It will also contain other files that we will need to fine-tune our configuration and control how our application behaves in development and/or a testing environment versus how our application behaves in a production environment. So, the first thing we need to do is create the parent directory in the location of your choosing. I prefer to place my project directory within a directory of the same name, denoted here in capitalized text, so that I might have a place to store project-related files and resources that we might not necessarily want included directly in our project's base directory. This can be used for anything, for example, database backups, logs, or project-specific automation scripts. The directory shown here, in all lowercase text, will be the root directory for our actual project. This is the directory that will contain our Get initialization and will be the directory we open with our text editor or preferred IDE. Let's go ahead and open our project. I'll be using VS Code for the duration of this series. The first thing that I prefer to do when starting any project from scratch is create a get-ignore file so that we don't include any unneeded content in our first commits. I like to do this specifically before running get initialization. I use a fairly extensive and comprehensive list of files and folders that should not be included in the project version history. It is up to you to decide what you'd like to commit and what should be ignored in your own projects. At this point, we can create the new Git repository for our code base. You should be familiar with this process. If not, you can follow the instructions from your Git repository about how to complete these steps. Please keep in mind, we will be using the Create React App instrumentation version for test coverage reporting for the front end via Cypress for simplicity. Feel free to use Webpack, Vite, or your choice setup method. Just be aware that they use different instrumentation methods which we won't be covering in this tutorial. Also, to reiterate, you'll want to have Node.js installed on your system. This will provide access to the Node Package Manager and essentially everything we need to build our front end. The next directories we will need will be for our continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. We will need to create a GitHub Workflows directory and two corresponding files. One YAML configuration file for our deployment workflow and one YAML configuration file for our testing workflow. So we'll create a parent.github directory. Then inside that directory we'll need a workflows directory. And then inside that directory is where we'll place our YAML configuration files. Next, we'll create a .log directory and a text file within that will contain logs from our React scripts. We don't need to track the contents in version control, so it is recommended to add an ignore entry in our get-ignore file. Once we've added the .log entry to get-ignore, we can add the .log directory to our project and the corresponding React scripts text file. Now we can track any errors that might occur when starting up our React scripts or any other errors from the front end that might occur during runtime. We'll need a directory to store our front-end tests, so we'll create a Cypress directory in the project root. We'll be populating this directory in a later video. The public directory houses the index.html file. You can edit your meta content and title to your liking. Feel free to customize your manifest and robots files, as well as your custom favicon, per your project-specific needs. I've left these unchanged from the Create React app defaults for the purposes of this series. The source directory will house all files and folders for our React front end. This will include all components, utilities, and routing configuration. We will populate this directory in a later video. The server directory will house all files and folders for our Python, Flask, back-end server and application programming interface. We will populate this directory in a later video. That covers all of the root directory layout and organization. We will still need to build a handful of configuration files at the root level. Some of them we'll be skipping for now and adding them later at the appropriate time. As for now, we're going to set up our .environment file. But before doing so, we'll need to add an ignore rule in the getIgnore file. Let's do that now. From this point forward, I won't be adding entries to getIgnore manually. I'll be using a pre-made, exhaustive list of all files and folders that will be ignored in version control permanently. Just be aware that you should never include your .env file in your Git commits, as this poses a security risk. I will provide a link to the FullStackDev repository in the comments below. You can copy and paste the contents of the getIgnore file if you're following along. And while we're here, it's a good time to go ahead and create our virtual environment. This directory will also not be tracked in version control, so you can add it to your getIgnore file as well. So to do that, simply run the Python command to create your virtual environment. As you can see, our virtual environment was created successfully. Next, we'll create a .environment file to store some basic configuration for our Flask server. This file will only be used for development purposes, and we'll be covering how to set environment variable for your production build in a later video. It is important to note here, we'll be using the domain name code.dev.com for development and testing, as opposed to using our system loopback address directly. This will allow us to set browser cookies in a way that's consistent with browser behavior in a production environment. This allows us to more accurately test against this functionality and catch bugs that might not otherwise be exposed in development or testing. To enable this functionality, we'll need to assign this domain name to our loopback address in our system etc hosts file. In your terminal, simply run this command. Alternatively, you can add the entry to etc hosts manually. Be advised, it is recommended that you log out and log back in to ensure the setting is successfully updated on your system. I will leave the command commented here for reference. Lastly, we'll set up our Docker Compose configuration. You'll want to have the Docker engine installed on your system. We won't be using Docker files directly in this series. Instead, we'll be using the Docker Compose plugin, which you will also need to install separately. Both can be installed using apt package manager. We'll be using the MySQL image for the database and test database. I also like to use the phpMyAdmin image during development so that I can get a bird's eye view of my database tables and confirm any configuration settings are correct. However, this is totally optional and is not required if system storage space is an issue. We'll be using the Redis image for fast session lookups. We'll configure the images to run on the FSD network. Here is the completed Docker Compose configuration. Hopefully the text is large enough to be legible. And here's a look at our project's basic layout and configuration. We'll be adding a few more config files to the root directory in later videos, but this should provide us with a solid scaffolding to continue our build going forward. On that note, I think this is a great place to end this video. I look forward to seeing you in the following video in the FullStackDev tutorial series. As always, thank you for watching the FullStackDev tutorial video series. If you have found these videos helpful in any way, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you again soon.